Imagine being greeted by this billboard on your way to work. I came across this image whilst doing some research on the number of millionaires there are globally and also the number of people who become millionaires on their salaries. And the information I found was quite interesting. I'll break this video down into 3 parts. Earning a million versus being a millionaire. Why investing could actually make you wealthy or a millionaire, but not in the way you think. And I will share 4 strategies that I have personally tried and have worked for me on my path to becoming financially free and retiring from my 9-to-5 job before the age of 40. Most people aren't going to become wealthy or millionaires on their 9-to-5 salaries. To make $1 million in a job makes you an outlier, and you are in a very, very small percentage of the working population. If you work in a company that hires tens of thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of employees, that's like winning the lottery. And sure, maybe you'll get there someday, but you most likely won't be able to control the outcome. Now, someone might say that's actually not true because I have many close friends who make $1 million every year in their corporate roles. Even if you were to win the corporate ladder lottery by making $1 million a year, making $1 million a year is quite different from being a millionaire in wealth terms. When we talk about millionaires, we're talking about the net worth of an individual, i.e. your assets and your income versus your liabilities and your expenses. So what is left over after you funded that very expensive lifestyle? That's the information that's used to determine whether you are a millionaire or not. If you're in a job where you're making $1 million, best believe you will have close to 0 time for yourself. You most likely will be working very long hours that don't stop just because you've left work, i.e. it overlaps into your personal life. You'll have back-to-back meetings and you most likely will be traveling quite a lot. If you have a lot of money, but you have no free time to actually enjoy that money, in my opinion, you're bankrupt. Nowadays, it really feels like every single person is becoming a millionaire but ourselves. And that is because we are constantly inundated with images and content talking about people's success stories. But here's the shocking data. Even though there has been a growth in everyday millionaires, according to a recent report by UBS, approximately 60 million people worldwide have wealth of over 1 million. And this represents only 1.6% of the global adult population. And as you can see from this wealth pyramid comparison, in 2013, approximately 0.7% of the population were millionaires, and 11 years later, that percentage has only risen to about 1.6%. And to put this all into context, this data focuses on 56 markets that are estimated to represent 92% of the world's wealth. So this makes it a pretty good approximation of global wealth. Now, I talk a lot about investing on my channel and how this can create a path to financial freedom. And yes, you can become a millionaire by investing. But what most people don't tell you is that the average worker who may make money via investing tends to do that towards the end of their working lives, i.e. towards retirement. Being a millionaire at 65 is quite different from being a millionaire at 25 or 35. And that is the point. Investing isn't some guarantee to an overnight success or becoming a millionaire overnight. Do you have 20 to 30 years of patience to wait for your capital to grow? Many great investors out there will tell you investing is a patient endeavor. Having said that, everyone's financial freedom figure will look different. For someone, it might be 10 million, for others, it might be 1 million, and for some others, it might be less than 1 million. But what is guaranteed is that your journey and your path towards financial freedom will look very different to mine as well as the next person's. Now, you may become a millionaire by investing in stocks, in bonds, in real estate for the next 40 years. But by that time, the value of your money, thanks to inflation as well as currency devaluation, will be very different. This graph shows you the decline in power of 1 million from today to the year 2050. Another thing to mention is that investing is quite risky, but that risk can be highly rewarded if things go well. But sadly, the average investor or the average individual will experience FOMO at some point and invest in a meme stock or a coin that an influencer on TikTok has told them about. And then when we get hit by the next recession, which is guaranteed to happen, they sell everything at a loss. What you do with your net income, i.e. your income after expenses, will potentially create a path to financial freedom and maybe ultimately make you wealthy in the process. Starting off with your salary is great. That is exactly how I started. And for most people, your salary is going to be the seed capital that funds your investments. So yes, your salary is important, but going beyond your salary should be your ultimate aim. The first step is to remove the ceiling on your income. The problem with a salary is that figure is fixed. You get paid the same salary every year, or if you're lucky, in some countries, you might get paid a salary adjusted for inflation on an annual basis. But if you think about it, your real income is pretty much the same. If inflation is 2.5% and you get a salary increase of 2.5%, nothing's really changed in real terms. Your nominal income has just gone up, but your real income stays the same. If you're on a salary and you want to earn more, your options are really limited. You either have to beg for a promotion or ask for a pay rise, and no employer has an incentive to pay you more for the same amount of work. The way to remove the ceiling is to multiply your streams of income or productize yourself. And this is based around the idea that you and I are walk-in, talking businesses. So a salary is just one income stream from a one-person business. The possibilities to create evergreen income streams are plentiful. The second step is really to avoid status-seeking behavior. It's easy to say reduce your expenses or stop buying things, but it can be very difficult to do in reality. And this is why, even though we know what to do to improve our finances, some of us still need the constant encouragement and reminders, because it is just so easy to revert to buying useless things that we don't need. So the goal here isn't to buy nothing, it's to become aware of status-seeking behavior. So when you're tempted to buy that expensive car that will need ongoing maintenance, or that expensive luxury handbag, ask yourself, will this take me closer or further away from the freedom to do whatever I want to do without being told what to do, and to have more time for the things that matter to me? You will be very surprised as to how effective this one simple question is in taking away the euphoria that comes with unnecessary spending. Step 3, master the CEO mindset. Embrace owning a business, even if it makes you feel salesy. I shared a video recently in which I explained why a salary is the worst kind of income you can earn, and business or passive income is a much better income type. One of the main reasons is because you pay a higher percentage in taxes as an employee than you do as a business owner. When you adopt this CEO or business owner mindset, it challenges you to think bigger, because you are consistently thinking about growth and expansion. The employee mindset, on the other hand, can be quite limiting. I said can because it doesn't apply to everyone. But let's face it, how many employees or workers go into work every morning thinking, how can I make the most money for my employer today? In these tough times, a lot of people are thinking, I'm just grateful to have a job. A business removes the cap on your income. And if you have a business that runs on autopilot, it also helps free up a lot of your time so you can spend that doing something else. But having said all that, I must say that building a business is such a humbling experience. It will teach you so much about yourself and about human psychology than a lot of other experiences will. The fourth step is to not get absolutely crushed by taxes. Now, this point is starting to receive a lot more attention. A lot of high income earners, especially in the UK, are starting to realize that earning more is in itself a form of tax trap. When you get to a salary level of £125,000, which is the equivalent of $169,000, you start paying at least 45% in taxes. So yes, while you can get to a C-level salary, if you're in the UK, you should be aware that you might be paying between 40 to 50% of that in taxes. But when you run a business, you get pre-tax income straight into your bank account, then you claim tax-deductible expenses, only then do you pay taxes on what's left over. So whatever you do, legally master tax, or risk becoming a slave to the system and doubling the time it will take for you to become financially free, living off post-tax income. Just like that, my dear friends, we have come to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one. Look after yourselves. Bye.